Welcome to the Chamber Spotlight, a talk show podcast brought to you by the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce in association with Local Scene. We'll be recording on a regular basis and we'll cover many topics that span local businesses, local elections, local town governance, and a citizens' academy. I'm your host, Fraser Townley, and today we're sitting down with Chris Perry and Scott Chaharyn.
Chaharyn.
Oh, I knew it. Straight away. Straight out of the blocks. Scott.
Yes.
Talk to me about history.
What would you like to know?
So you're the chairman of...
So right now, I am on the Historic District Commission. I'm the president of the Historical Society. And I was on the Master Plan Committee. I'm on the Bylaw Review Committee. And I'm on the CPC Committee.
Aren't you the vice chair of the Bylaw Committee?
Yes, I am the vice chair.
I'm just talking you up a bit.
Thank you.
So you're on two historic... Are they boards or are they...
Here's the kind of misconception. The Historical Society is a private organization that has 4 properties. And its main goal is to preserve documents and historical facts of the town of Pembroke. The Historic District Commission is a town body that I should say the Historic District Commission and then the Historic Commission. Historic District Commission, you have your 2 districts, the Northern District and Southern District. The Northern District goes from 408 Washington Street all the way to the North River on Old Washington Street. The center Historic District goes from the police station all the way up to the Council on Aging building or the COA building. And then beyond that, it becomes the Center Protection Zone, which goes from the COA building all the way to up the mountain now.
Okay. And you're on both the commission and the board?
I am. I was both chair of the Historic District Commission, and then I was also president of the Historical Society, where I stepped down as chair, and Chris ended up being chair of the Historic District Commission.
Okay. Over to you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you for the promotion, Scott.
Yeah,
it's nice. There's always been a little bit of misconception, like Scott just explained a moment ago, about how the 2 different organizations function, how they work, what their roles are. And during the younger times, I guess, or the past, there's sometimes have been conflicts and there's been... I don't really know what to say, how to exactly word this, but it hasn't been cohesive.
Uh-huh.
I guess is probably the best way to put it. But between Scott now and myself working together, we have definitely bridged a gap. We've definitely are working far greater, much more fluently. And now this is an opportunity, and thank you, Fraser, for bringing this both together to explain to the residents of Pembroke, this is what the 2 different organizations do. This is how they function. This is how they work together, and this is how they're separate.
Terrific. Yeah, so that was one of the goals, to demystify.
Correct.
Neither have any mystery to them. The mystery is, why do the 2 exist and how do they function? But you both done a really good job, Scott in particular. Thank you. Your bylaw skills are coming out. So, and having you on both of those committees actually create... is there anybody else that's on both?
So the way the bylaw is written for the Historic District Commission, there's supposed to be 1 representative of the Historical Society on the Historical District Commission.
Okay.
So
and that's you.
That is me being president of the Historical Society.
Okay. Cool. And did we I mean, it's off topic, but we introduced a bylaw. Who did that come from? Did that come from Chris or from you?
So that came from we discussed it in the Bylaw Review Committee, and then I went back to the Historic District Commission and had everybody vote on it. We changed it a little bit, went back to the Bylaw Review Committee, changed it a little bit more, and then everybody kind of agreed on the bylaw, and then it went to town meeting, and it ended up passing.
It did pass. Do you want to just explain, because we didn't get an opportunity to explain the bylaw changes that people vote. Well, I did actually, and Rich did, but what was that bylaw change?
So that bylaw was just, so if somebody had a cedar roof in town and wanted to go and replace it with an asphalt roof, there was nothing in the bylaw stating that they could do that. Technically, the Historic District Commission could make them put a cedar roof back on the house.
Right.
So now it's allowing modern materials, as long as it looks period correct.
Yeah.
You can use them.
So this bylaw change was actually good for the citizens, the residents of Pembroke.
Absolutely. And you're keeping the historical nature of the home or property, but you're also allowing modern material.
Yeah, which I think is critical. And I thought that was it. Well, I voted for the bylaw, so
that's good.
There you go. Good. So that's our background. Do you want to share something about your backgrounds? What makes
so it's kind of
your historical?
So it's kind of interesting. It was just I ended up answering every week. We have a trivia question. And I ended up answering the trivia question that Miles had put out like 4 years ago. And then he well, since you love history so much, do you think you want to join, the Historic District Commission? And then it ended up being the Historical Society. And then do you want to represent the Historic District Commission in the master plan? And then just, cascaded. It's kind of interesting.
Can you remember the question?
No.
The trivia question.
Oh, yes, actually. No. I do. It was the Bingsville Band. It was a picture of the whole band. And it was, who's this band and what is it? And a friend of mine actually lives in the house, and we had the actual poster of the day and date and the band. So I sent that to him. I was like, your information's wrong. This is the actual date of the. So, yeah.
Terrific.
Gotta love when the student corrects the teacher.
Yeah.
Chris?
Well, I mean, but I just wanted to elaborate just a little bit further on what Scott was saying. As you've seen, and you, even yourself as a prime example, and Scott, it's when you get involved in the town and the residents and how much we love Pembroke. Yeah. It comes out when you get involved with one agency or one grouping. All of a sudden, you find out about something else. Or you find out about something else, and you find out about something else, and all of a sudden, you go from being involved in just one committee or whatever, and now all of a sudden it's 10. Yeah. And Scott's a perfect example of that because he loves the town so much. He wants to do his part, and it's giving back to the community. I know I've been a resident of this town for 30 years, and I've given back, when my children were younger. Now that my children are grown and I'm an empty nester, but now it's, all right, what else can I do for the town? Yeah. What's the next step? Yeah. And this opportunity came available, and it's grown exponentially from there. My background, you had asked that earlier. So I come from a public safety background. I have over 30 years of public safety, starting out with the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department, part-time police officer, dispatcher, EMT, and whatnot. Then I became a correctional officer full-time, retired in 2018 as a shift commander, lieutenant, training officer, auditor, things like that for the state prison system. And so my background on that, because of regulations and how to take care of inmates and what everything is involved with that, and obviously running a multi-million-dollar building and being responsible for that, there has to be guidelines. There has to be policy, procedure. It's all black and white. Yeah. So here we go. So when I came in as chair, I noticed that we don't necessarily have guidelines, and I have a problem with that. Yeah. So I just simply looked at, okay, how can we modernize and bring our agency up to par? And we're doing that. And I'm so proud of all of our volunteers and all of our commission people that we have. It's just amazing. Since 2018, I have working for a design build firm out of Pembroke. And so I have the construction background and things like that that help me in the sense of looking at a structure and how to analyze it, how to go ahead. Is this a building that can be saved? Is this a building that needs to be torn down? How can we make the correction or the resolution so everybody is happy? So there we are. Brings up the present day.
No trivia question.
No trivia question.
He got in through hard graft. There you go. There's a difference.
No.
And so you've got, which of the organizations has Judith Parks? Is it?
That's me.
That's your one?
Correct.
Yeah. And so she's got some ideas for the historic. She's got a historic property herself, actually. She lives in one, doesn't she?
Her home is amazing.
Really?
Absolutely amazing. I've been at it multiple times. and just the landscaping and the architecture of the home, and how she's been able to integrate modern and traditional into the historic colonial aspects of the home. It's a magnificent home.
Yeah. I tried to do something similar.
Mm-hmm.
I've got an 1834 farmhouse, put a modern addition onto it. I can't keep the modern addition warm. I can't keep it cool. The old house, I don't even have air conditioning. Or it's just the way they did. And it's plumb. There's no... going to use an English expression, which I know I can't use on there, but none of the walls in the old house are completely straight. It's perfect.
Yeah.
They had some skills back then.
Yes, they did.
So, projects in town. What have we got on the slate? What are we trying to preserve right now? And I don't want to go to the Turner House because we're going to go on to that in a different. But what else are we looking to preserve? And I'm actually thinking of a fire station in High Street. There's a fire station.
That's privately owned.
Is it?
Yes. At one point, I know the town was paying to rent space, and they were storing apparatus in there. I don't know if that's still happening. He ended up doing a date board through the Historical Society, and I know it at one point it was a group of firefighters that had owned it. I think it's down to just him owning the building now.
Right.
But I mean, it's an old firehouse with I think they even had maybe some type of studio upstairs too.
Okay. So give me one of you, or you can both give me a lesser known piece of history about Pembroke that you think the town should know about.
So as far as the Historical Society, if you know Bryanville, it used to be Bryanville Pizza Kitchen, Billy the Kids, the big building as you go in the center of Bryanville. That at one point at the turn of the century was a newspaper, as Bryanville News, and the publisher was George Lewis, and he ended up taking hundreds of glass plate negative slides and printing blocks when he actually printed the newspaper. And he donated all that stuff to the Historical Society. He was actually one of the founding members of the Historical Society. He ended up getting the building from Marcus Uran, which is he ended up doing Ocean Spray Cranberries.
Yeah.
So he ended up getting the Historical Society building, and it was moved on to the property. And the society took out a loan to pay for it. But when Lewis died, he donated the proceeds of his house to the society, and they were able to pay off the loan within a year or two, which was interesting.
What's this guy's name again?
George Lewis.
George Lewis. Do we have a plaque for George somewhere?
There was a plaque in the Historical Society because it's mentioned in the meeting notes.
Yeah.
But I can't not find that plaque anymore, which is sad. But I mean,
sounds like he's a
Yeah,
a lot to help.
And the thing is, any of the historical books that you look at in the Historical Society, 90% of those pictures came from him from the newspaper, and we still have all the glass negatives, and they've been digitalized.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how much you can blow up the picture and look at all the little details in the picture. I mean, it's fascinating. And
the analog days were much better than the digital.
So, but you trace back to one person. You know, that one person. Without him, I don't think you would have had a Historical Society.
Wow.
So
he needs a plaque.
Yeah, he needs a new plaque. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
As far as my goals or a little bit of history, I guess is the way to put it. I'm hoping I can segue to something else a little bit later that we're hoping to collaborate with. But it comes down to the Sewing Circle in downtown Pembroke, that building, and the Historical Society building itself. It needs some updating. It needs some help. And then obviously the building that is next to that is the Drake building.
No, you're talking about the Hatch School?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, correct.
Yeah. So that's another one that's going to end up being a Turner House issue.
So, okay. How many houses, how many buildings are we talking about?
As far as
the Historic Society?
The Historical Society owns 4 buildings.
4 buildings.
So
right.
I should say 4 properties. So you get the museum building with the hall in the back of it, which is two one-room schoolhouses put together.
Oh, okay. Where were they originally?
So the first one-room schoolhouse was, where the Bryanville food pantry is?
Yes.
You've got the building behind it.
Yeah.
That's a two-room schoolhouse, which replaced a one-room schoolhouse, which is now at the Historical Society.
All right.
But before it got moved there, it got moved from the corner of 36 and 27. So the buildings moved around town quite a bit.
Scott, you are impressing me today. Where did you get how did you gain all this knowledge?
So most of it, I ended up reading the meeting minute notes.
Oh.
There is a Bible that goes from 1950 to about 1968, and every time they had a meeting, they would write down the notes. Interesting concept. Interesting.
This is a new concept.
But if you read the meeting notes, it paints a story. It paints a story about the town meeting, how they ended up donating the land where the Historical Society sits, because that's where the original town hall sat.
How terrific.
So, but to get back to so the Historical Society building, there's the Ada Hall property, which is on Barker Street, the yellow house, that's about 5 acres. Yeah. And then you've got the Friends Quaker Meeting House, which is up on the corner of, 139 and 53.
What do we do with the Ada Hall building? So I know what we do with the other buildings, but that one seems...
So Ada Hall, you can do a tour by appointment. We're going to actually have a bonfire and a vintage market at the Ada Hall.
I see you bought some...
I brought some material.
Some materials that no one can see.
That's the idea. I can see them, though. That's the idea.
True.
So,
well, we can... You know what? We can publish this stuff when we publish the...
Yeah, let's do that. That's a great idea. Yeah. So, but so there is a tenant that lives upstairs, technically a caretaker, and he kind of looks over the property, which is I'll actually say Kyle Harney.
I know Kyle.
Yeah. So
he's at New England Village.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's the caretaker there. And then we have the Friends Quaker Meeting House, which is the second oldest meeting house in the country, and it's on the National Registry.
Is that right?
Yes.
Second oldest, but so how old is it?
It was 1706, and
before Pembroke.
Yes.
Wow.
So in the concept was that it came up the North River. It started in Scituate, but I think as you read, because it says it came up on gondolas, I think if you actually really look into it, it's the Wonton shipyard that actually cut the lumber, and then it came up on gondolas, and then Robert Barker Jr. actually built it on site.
Very cool. So, Chris, you were going to talk about your vision.
Yeah, of
or some future projects.
A future project. Okay, yeah. Are you referring to the collaboration between?
I don't know. When I asked about tell us about the town history, you said you wanted to talk about something going forward. So I was just picking up on that. So
basically, I had spoken with just recently the Historical Society. They were kind enough to invite me in. I got to speak to the members about an event that is coming up that I'm also going to be speaking to on the chamber on the 31st. Yep. And again, thank you for that invitation as well. What that event is, I had become aware because of my position within the historical district. Yeah. We have Veterans Memorial Park.
Right.
Back in, I believe it again, pardon me for the dates, but I want to say it was like 2019, somewhere in that range. It was prior to COVID, that there was a plan to redo Veterans Memorial Park. Mm-hmm. And it fell by the wayside. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, it just didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And I know myself personally and being involved, and that is our main entrance of 14 coming into downtown. Mm-hmm. And when you drive by Veterans Memorial Park or even just coming into town, there's nothing that says, welcome to Pembroke. There's nothing that says, this is Pembroke. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say who we are and how old we are, what our background is, our history, anything. Mm-hmm. It's just, you could be going into Quincy. I mean, there's nothing there. So in thinking of this and after finding out about this, I started reaching out to who was part of that organization that was trying to do this before. Mm-hmm. What was the plan? What happened? So I started putting the pieces together. Mm-hmm. And what I found out was we want to come up with a new plan. Not necessarily, I want to use some of the ideas that were done prior to, but now I want to revamp it. I want this to be impactful for the veterans, for the residents, for our downtown area. It needs to make a statement of who Pembroke is and what the rich history is.
Yeah.
Now, what I found out, which I'm like, oh my God, how is this not even preached in school? I'm sure as an English person, you are aware of the Battle of Lexington and Concord.
No.
It's in the...
I'm not.
Okay, all right, well...
We talk about 1066, World War I, World War II, and winning the World Cup in 1966. That's about it. That's our history.
So coming back to basically the Pembroke Resolves and John Turner and all of that. So Pembroke is actually one of the driving forces of the Revolutionary War.
And you think we teach that in England?
Well, again, but understanding your own history and what happened. That's that's basically where I was going with that.
Sure.
But there's the Paul Revere Ride and all of this, and they talk about the Battle of Lexington and Concord. Well, the soldiers that actually fought in that battle were from Pembroke.
Yeah.
They marched all the way from Pembroke there to go ahead and battle for our freedom.
Yeah.
But nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
Or let me re-say this. It's not mainstream. So as you would say, somebody out of, say, Lexington or Concord, it's part of the information, not where the infantry came from.
So I get the memorial. You want to speak to the Chamber of Commerce.
Correct.
For help with fundraising?
Correct.
Good.
So our goal is to start including more than just, because there's more than just, if you go into our town hall, you go into Veterans Hall, it's named Veterans Hall, you go in there and you can see a timeline all the way from one end of the room all the way around to the other.
Do you know where most of that stuff came from? It came from the Gar Building, which is the Boys and Girls Club. But it was stored in the attic of the town hall, because it actually mentions in the Macros database for that all the files and stuff went into the attic of the town hall. I went looking for it. I couldn't find it. And I'm like, why can't I find it? Then I go down in Veterans Hall and I start walking around. It's all on the walls in Veterans Hall.
Yeah. Good. So we're having you as a guest.
Correct.
And we look forward to discussing it. There are fundraising events that we are doing. And we're not looking to see who we can give the money to, but we will be passing that money out. One of the events that we are redoing early next year will be the Taste of Pembroke. And so we've got a lot of interest from that. So that will be a good fundraiser. So there are activities we're doing that will free up funds for this kind of activity. Obviously, we have to
historical societies.
You got your fish fry, mate. So you brought up the Turner House. Everyone's
bring up the Turner House.
Yes, you did.
I did?
You brought up John Turner, not
you
the
brought
Turner.
up John Turner.
So
I was driving past the plot today, actually, and I noticed it's level for the first time since I can remember. There's been mounds of earth.
I know the whole property has to come up. At one
It's got to come up for sure.
At one point it was like 4 feet, and then it was like 3 feet. The fluctuation of how high
7 feet, 8 feet.
Yeah.
Roll the dice.
Yeah.
That's not what I wanted to talk about. The fact is, however, it looks like they're starting to prep the land. There's a chicken and egg here, right? Don't we have to move something first?
So as it stands now, I believe the Turner House is being moved, and the Housing Authority wants to use it as office space once it's done. But if that's the case, the Housing Authority has state funds, so you can use state funds to rehab the Turner House.
Okay,
so
that's good news.
That's actually good news, but there's a but.
Come on,
you still need to pay the money to actually move it to 100 feet. and it's
which is not going to be the $1 million that everyone.
But
believes
and that's the other thing you got to think about is it's budgeted for $1 million. So if you don't move the Turner House, let's say you knocked it down, that $1 million is still going into the public safety.
Right.
You're not
saving $1 million.
You're not I mean, granted,
you can't about, but
granted,
it's part of the general budget.
Yeah,
for it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, granted, you'd be able to put more into the building itself, but as it stands right now, it's getting moved and looking into having the housing authority take over it.
So the project that the town has been debating is still going forward the way the town thought it was going to go forward. There's going to be no changes.
Not that I know of.
Not that I've been made aware of either. I just know the new public safety building is
it
an
looks
awesome
like it's
building.
starting. Yeah.
Because Historic signed off on it back in last August to September, and that was moving the Turner House to 100 feet. It would have a septic plan, but no septic. But I think there was be conduits run to it, but it was just putting it on the foundation, and then having like a almost like a brick or stone facade on the foundation, so it would look period correct, and that was it.
No,
that was just moving it.
No sewage.
No
septic.
No
sorry.
septic. A plant.
Can you not share the public safety?
So it sounds like it's not in the. It's no.
Okay.
The answer
but
is
that's
no.
a public safety.
Yeah,
it's not a Turner House or historic. That's public safety. Okay,
yeah.
Fine. I vote we move on.
Yep.
So, 100 years from now, what do you think the town's legacy will be? What would you want the town's legacy to be? We'll talk to Chris first, because I think you've got some ideas.
The town legacy to be? I mean, we already have it.
Yeah.
And because of the Pembroke Resolves, the history, that is really what makes Pembroke Pembroke, and the community itself. It is definitely a very popular town to come to. I mean, this is why you're getting people from the North Shore, Quincy, Boston, Dorchester coming down, because this is a family community. Our school system is amazing. School committee, the school teachers, the whole educational program that Pembroke has, the sporting programs that Pembroke has. It is a great place to raise a family. That's why I chose to raise my family here. That's it. Like, we're already there. We just we just don't want to knock the wheels off and just keep riding forward.
No, I think that's very true. And if we're looking at our legacy being something from 200 or 300 years ago, why is that going to change in 100 years' time?
Correct.
I get it. Scott, you got.
I think you want to see something physical. So, like, you've got the Historical Society, you've got the First Church, you've got the GAR building, you've got the Hatch building. If you save these buildings in 150 years, those buildings are still going to be there. The center of town is still going to have the same vibe, the same feeling, because you're going to have those buildings. Granted, the town's going to grow, but if you still have some of those buildings that you can, physically touch, you're going to have that same vibe that you have now.
So let me ask you, when there is a new project in town, like the community center, like the public safety building, are we looking into, when we build or create the plans, create the structure, are we saying, okay, this building has to last, this building has to have a legacy to it, this has to be around? Because I hear, and I wasn't expecting to ask this question, but you hear all the time, this has to last 25 years, this has to last 40 years. The buildings that you're talking about, they're 300 years old.
Yep.
And they were built to last for 300 years. Why can't we do that now? And is there a role for you guys to play in
I can
the
answer
master
that
plan?
question for you.
Okay.
Your modern building codes.
Yeah.
That's what's killing you. Honest to God, that's it. Your houses today don't breathe. Everything is so airtight, and you actually now have to install, per code, air exchange.
Yeah.
Because like you said earlier, my new area of the house, I can't get it warm, I can't get it cool or whatever. But the old area of the house that you were talking about, no problem.
Yeah.
Because it breathes. This is why. And it's I don't know. That's a whole different topic. And you start getting into climate and off-gassing and things like that. That's a whole other type of discussion. But the bottom line at the end of the day is wood and materials today. I mean, you're talking trees that were, when 300 years ago, those trees were 200 years old before anybody even stepped foot on it. So they've aged the way that they have. Today's modern lumber, they're young trees. They're call it, for lack of a better way, moist or juvenile, I guess is the way to put it, or immature, and they just don't structurally work. And that's why you're looking at modern materials now. I actually just saw an article I think it was within the last 2 months, about how they're making composite wood to replace the classic 2x4. Because the trees just don't work like they used to. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth.
Well, if I understand it correctly, it's all to do with the speed with which they grow. So the slower growing have tighter rings, tighter grain.
And you can see the modern ones, the rings are like an inch
the grain is crazy. And it's in between the grain that's all soft and spongy. Again, I was going to use a British expression, which I can't use on the air.
I think you can also, if the Historic District Commission looks at the plans and approves something that kind of looks historically correct, you're keeping that vibe in town of what the buildings look like.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, I'm going with Chris. I'm going deeper and saying, okay, let's. It's not about does it look like it's in keeping.
Is it going to last?
Is it going to last?
And it's not. I mean, there's not much you can do about it.
Sad. We are almost at the end of the show, believe it or not. I can't believe how quick this has gone. Is there anything you guys want to get across to anyone listening before we sign off?
I think as far as like the Historical Society there, it's a private organization and it's there for the town. I think take advantage of the properties, come in, see what it's all about, support it, come to the events, donate if you want to donate, but definitely take advantage of it because, it's a town treasure.
Good. I agree with you. Chris?
I would say from a historical commission, I wanted to see us going in a new direction. I talked about it earlier with the modernization, the digitalization. So for example, one of the things that I'm looking to try to bring forward is, so somebody wants to put together a building permit. When something happens in your home as of right now is prior to 1901, we wanted to be able to get it flagged, for lack of a better way to say that, so that various agencies within the town hall will know what's happening. So everyone becomes aware, and all of a sudden, nothing is missed. So it's all right there, digitally, electronically, and getting that information.
I know since the building department has updated their computer software, we've been getting a lot more roof applications. So I mean, it's a good thing. And that was kind of after getting 3 or 4 of those roof applications, it's like, okay, this bylaw needs to change so we can kind of adapt.
Right. Last question: Pembroke or Pembroke?
I'm going to go with Pembroke now. Historically, with Pembroke.
Right.
Broke. Just sticking to my gut. I'm just sticking to it.
Well, look, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Scott, for participating. And thank you to everyone who's listened to this podcast. This podcast will be available on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube with additional links to our Facebook page. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce. And if you're interested in becoming a member of the Chamber, please go to the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce website, pembrokechamber.org.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.